Hey guys, Jeremy Skinner here on 10 Minutes of Truth, your channel for 10 minutes of accurate biblical truth. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today I want to share with you my story, the story of what I used to be like, how I met Christ, and how my life is today. But before we get there, I have some exciting news I want to share with you. Rolling out next week, I'm going to have a Patreon website that you can join in and support the ministry, which I'd be super grateful for. I'm just about to reach 400 subscribers, and hopefully after this video, I will pass that 400 subscriber mark and be on my way to 500. Now, you can support me by hitting the subscribe button now or waiting till the end of this video and supporting me then. But later next week, when the Patreon website comes out, you can support me financially. And I would be super appreciative if you'd be willing to do that, as I want to make this my full-time ministry of sharing the gospel around the world. And I can't do that by myself, but together we can. So if you'd be willing to support the ministry, I would be super grateful with that. Not only that, but we have some t-shirts that are coming out next week, and you can wear those in support of my channel. Every dollar that is given goes back into the ministry to help grow the ministry and to take care of the financial obligations that we have with this channel. So I'm super grateful for all of you, and that's why I'm sharing this testimony today. I want you to get to know me just a little bit better, where I've been and where I'm at now. So let's just jump right in. For me, life was pretty good. I didn't have much growing up, but what I did have, I was happy with. I was raised by a single parent. My mama and dad divorced when I was 3, and so mama raised me, my brother, and my sister, and did an excellent job. It wasn't without its struggles and wasn't without its problems, but she did a fantastic job raising the 3 of us, and I'm grateful for her. In school, I always got good grades, and for athletics, I was always a first stringer, whether it be a shortstop or a pitcher or wide receiver. I always had good athletic ability. I know that you can't tell that now, but I was in pretty good shape one day. At the age of 17, I met my wife, and life became all about us. We respected our parents, we loved our parents, but we really didn't care what our parents had to say about our lives. It was us, and we wanted to do what we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. And so we decided that at the age of 18, we're just going to run away from home. We're going to get our own place and live together. Our story is kind of a parallel story to the prodigal son. You know, the son went to his father and he said, I want what belongs to me. I want my inheritance and I want it now. Back in that day and today, the inheritance isn't given until the parent passes away. And so in a sense, what this prodigal son is saying is, Dad, I wish you were dead. Now, I don't think that we wished our parents dead like the prodigal son, but we did wish that our parents would leave us alone so that we could do life the way that we wanted to. And it wasn't long before we ended up living like the prodigal. You know, we had a blast growing up together. I mean, we were teenagers, we were on our own. We had good paying jobs, and we were unstoppable and invincible. Whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted it, we always got it. Let me back up just a couple of years. Before I met my wife, I had lost my license for drinking and driving and been through drug and alcohol rehab twice. Now, this was before I was a senior in high school. After we got together, we got back into drinking and using drugs on a regular basis. And we did it all in the name of fun. And we just wanted to have a good time. And this is what we learned. We learned that sin will always take you farther than what you want to go, keep you longer than what you want to stay, and cost you more than what you're ever willing to pay. For us, years of drug and alcohol use, fighting, arguing, bickering back and forth, cost us nearly the relationship. We had separated. I'd spent a few nights out at my mom's, and I remember lying on her couch one night and just replaying our history, replaying our few years together and the happy points of life. And you know, in our relationship, we did have some good points. We did have some happy days, and those were the ones that I was reflecting on. We had a 1-year son at the time, and his name is Skylar. I've got videos of him also that I'll link in the description. But I remember laying on that couch that night and replaying the moments of me holding Skylar, or going down the slide, or playing at the park, and being outside and doing all those things. And my heart literally broke. And so I went back home and we talked it out. And one night she ended up going to a revival meeting, a church meeting on like a Tuesday night. I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, she went to church. And that day I stayed home and I drank. And by the time she had made it back home, I was pretty intoxicated. But when she walked in that front door, she was excited. And she was sharing with me all the things that she had learned in that last hour. And I could really care less about what she had to say. And then she said this. She said, Jeremy, I really think that this could help us. I really think that this could turn our lives around. Again, I wasn't hearing it. I thought it was the dumbest crutch that I've ever heard of in my life. I wasn't about to go to church. I made fun of church. That's who I was. And so I just grabbed another beer, headed out the door, got on some gravel roads, and was flying at high rates of speed because I didn't really care about what might happen next, didn't really care about the next corner that I was going to encounter. That night after I got home, I passed out, woke up the next morning, raring to go, just fighting and feuding, ready to lay it on her one more time. So we fought that day. Then I gave her a ride to work. I come home, me and Skylar, we were ready for an evening. I had pizza in the oven, Totino's party pizza, I might say, and a movie to watch, Barney. Yeah, that's right, Barney and frozen pizza. Never forget that night. My mom called me and she's inviting me to church again, and I'm like, nah, we'll see what happens, but I doubt that I'll make it there. I gave my wife a call at work, and wouldn't you know it, she's not there. And so now I'm just fuming. I'm just as mad as a wet hornet. And I hop in the car, me and Skylar, we're ready to get her. And you know where we go? Yeah, we go to the church because we're gonna get her out of that place. I'm not gonna let her sit one more night and let that pastor corrupt her mind. And so we go over to the church, and I happen to know the pastor by first name. He's been a longtime family friend. I walk in the front door. I haven't showered. I haven't brushed my teeth. My eyes are bloodshot from the night before. I look like a wreck, and he meets me at the door. Jeremy, it's good to have you here. Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm stuck. He's there, I know him, my mom's there, family's there, everybody's there except for my wife. So I'm stuck. I sit down and I listen to this guest speaker, and as he's sharing his message, I'm getting angrier by the moment. I mean, I just swore up and down that my mama gave him my life story because it was like there was nobody else in that church except for me and this pastor, and he's telling me my life. And I'm just getting a little bit bent out of shape over the deal. And then, middle of the service, my wife walks in. Oh, I tell you what, the hair on my neck stood up. I got goosebumps all over. I was ready to rip her a new one, and there we were, in the church. Couldn't say a word. And then finally it happened, the end of the sermon. I stand up and I take a step right outside of my pew. I walk down the aisle and I cram my face into the shoulder of this pastor, and I'm weeping like a little baby. That night, I surrendered my life to Christ. That night, I was born again. That night, my life changed forever. I mean, I couldn't resist his irresistible grace. I couldn't resist the forgiveness that was being offered. And so life changed, and I never looked back. And you know, like the prodigal, I didn't have everything right. I mean, there I was in dirty clothes, dirty teeth, bloodshot eyes, wrecked hair. I just wasn't in a good place. But you know what? The Father didn't care about that. He didn't care what I looked like. He didn't care what I smelled like. He was willing to receive me just as I was. And that's how I was. And that's how I came. And that's all God cares about, is you. He wants you to come just as you are. You know, a sinner may go to hell unsaved, but he will never go unloved. Now, I don't care what you've done. I don't care where you've been. What matters is where you're going. If there's anybody watching right now, and if you start out for God, just like that father in the story, he will come after you and he will welcome you with open arms. He will kiss you on the neck and he will receive you no matter where you've been. What matters is where you're going. Jesus said that he who comes to me in no wise will I cast out. Whosoever will may come. And if that's you, you come. Receive Christ as your Savior. Got a mosquito. Hey guys, this has been Jeremy Skinner. If you've got questions about salvation, if you've got questions about becoming a Christian, you can find me at askpastorskinner@gmail.com. That's askpastorskinner@gmail.com. You can drop a comment and say, hey pastor, contact me, whatever it is. I want to help you come to know Christ as your Lord and Savior as well. It'll be the best decision that you've ever made in your life. God bless.